So today I'm bringing you an extra special episode that is near and dear to my heart. It is part of my own story, and it's one that a lot of you have been waiting on, and some of you have heard time and time again. I do want to encourage you. This is a story for the ages. It is my oldest son's adoption story and how I became his mom. This is all from my perspective. And if you are considering adoption or foster care as part of your family's story, I highly encourage you to listen to this episode as I share the unfiltered and raw truth of what it was like adopting a teenager from foster care. Welcome to There Will Be Joy. I'm your host, Lauren Alonso, and I am a wife and Southern mama of 4 and counting. I'm that crazy friend of yours who's always ready to dream big with you, cheer you on as you dance to the beat of your own drum, and help you find the silver lining in every situation. I'm here as your host to help inspire you to live with joy, equip you with every listen, and empower you in your journey. I believe that life is a series of stories worth telling. And in this podcast, I'm going to share my own stories, the stories of others, and practical tools to help you explore how to live with intention and purpose no matter what is thrown your way. My hope is that you smile a lot, cry a little, and laugh so hard that eventually you pee your pants. Not kidding, friend. You are welcome at our table, so pull up a seat. Joel and I met when we were 14. Despite being friends, very soon after the first day I knew I would marry him. It took 10 long years, a tragic car accident which left him paralyzed from the neck down and nonverbal, and lots of experiences to bring us to a point where we were ready to be together forever. We started making plans for our family in 2014, exactly 1 year after we were married. After trying for a family naturally for nearly 3 years, we decided after some health goals were reached in Joel's recovery, we would start the road to adoption. We shared this excitement with our immediate family and our closest friends, and it did seem shocking to them. Neither the news we were trying for a family nor the way that we wanted to pursue it. We knew we wanted to adopt from the foster care system. After having countless experiences in life with trauma and special needs, our hearts found peace in knowing that we could give a loving home for a child or children who had been stripped away from everything they knew. We also wanted to provide the best for our child, and we knew that the foster care program in Florida would be awesome for that because it would provide benefits for them like education that we would never be able to afford on one income. The adoption process was nearly free. We also knew we wanted to look at children who were a little older because of the physical demands of Joel's health and my time and energy, as I was his sole caretaker. Sadly, everyone thinks the younger they are, the less likely they are to have or remember trauma, and the less damaged that they will be. Science and psychology prove otherwise. We opened our home to some kids in care on Thanksgiving. As a photographer, I got the opportunity to take their photos, to update their images in the Heart Gallery, and we got to interact with several of the children. After that meal, we were told repeatedly of this teen that we'll call T for now, had blossomed in our home. He typically never smiled. He never liked having photos taken of him. He was a different kid here. He ate a full plate of food and spoke more than he ever had in front of his recruiter. Hey friends, let's keep this conversation going. I love for you to connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, where I share daily inspiration, behind the scenes moments, and more ways to find joy in every season. Whether it's a sneak peek into our family life, a new recipe, or a daily dose of encouragement, you'll find it all there. Make sure to check out my stories and connect with me. I love talking to you guys in the DMs. Follow along and let's build community that inspires, equips, and empowers each other to live a life of joy. Once our home study was complete and the recruiters received our file in mid-January, they sent us some general info on 5 kids. T was the only one on the list that we had met in person. He was also the oldest. He was 15. He loved sports just like Joel, and Joel had pretty much handpicked him. On February 13th, 2018, we were officially matched, and on Valentine's Day, he was told that we wanted to adopt him. I made a book just for him, filled with pages about our home, ourselves, and our extended family to make him feel more comfortable. Our connection with him was immediate. We bonded over basketball at the children's home together. It was an easy way to connect because Joel and I loved playing since we were kids. We went and picked him up every other day after school. He had planned to come home for an extended 13 days straight on Joel's birthday weekend. He was staying in a local boys' home which has a reputation for being one of the worst in the state. Dropping him back off there after one of our one-on-one times felt like sending him to prison, except there were no rules, no real authority, and a lack of rules became an issue for us at home. We were told that kids in care need and thrive on structure. He was being torn between lives, the life at the boys' home during his transition and his future with us, having rules and being cared for the first time in his life. He wanted to be with us, but would often say things like, I just don't fit here, and this isn't the place for me. He didn't feel like he was good enough for us, and his behaviors would reflect that. By late March, T decided he didn't want to be adopted. We were broken into a million pieces, but it was gradual. We felt the weight during the entire process of trying to hold it all together. We saw it coming, but we were so lost. In adoption world, we call this event disruption. We never heard anything about T again. But in the same breath, our adoption coordinator told us, but I have a kid who I think would be perfect for you and Joel. And his TPR and case file just landed on my desk, which is termination of parental rights, which means he was available and ready for adoption. 1,000 thoughts ran through my head. Y'all, I'm serious when I say I had reached a point in this journey where I questioned if we ever even wanted to be parents again. But I asked Joel, do you want to hear about another kid? He thought for a quick second and then surprisingly said yes. She proceeded. Well, his name is Freddie and he's 13. He has 3 sisters, one who is now 18, one who is adopted by a paternal family member, one who was just adopted by her foster mom, who is eager to maintain connections with his siblings. My heart smiled knowing that he had sisters. Joel and I had prayed and thought about learning more about him at a full disclosure meeting. We didn't tell very many people this time, but I had spoken with 2 moms who had had similar stories. A terrible disruption happened in their journey to becoming foster or adoptive parents. And then bam, in a silver lining moment, they met their forever child. After hearing their stories, I felt connected and convinced maybe I could still be a mom. And maybe this was God, moving quickly, tugging at my heart before it became too numb. After all, we didn't search for this kid or even see a photo of him. I asked all the questions I didn't know to ask the first time we had been matched. I didn't find this kid out of my own desperation. He was given to us in our most desperate hour. Psalm 35 says, his favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. This child has been brought to us by our coordinator, meaning we didn't search for him. And I thought, well, maybe this is a door that God opened, since clearly I didn't open it. And I questioned, I want to be the one that closes a door that God himself opened. I couldn't do it. So I told Joel that I felt that way, and he did too. So we decided to move forward. This time, the full disclosure meeting felt a little different in a good way. The entire team was on board. They just knew, based on our dedication to T and how we loved him, we were meant to be Freddie's family. During that meeting with the guardian, she began texting his big sister, and she arranged for us to meet her first. You see, Freddie had literally just been presented with the idea of adoption. It wasn't something that he had been thinking about long, and he didn't really understand it. A lot of kids in foster care don't wish they had another family. They have a family. And just because the state has removed their rights, it doesn't make them love their family any less, no matter the trauma. It's just human nature to love your parents, no matter what, and want to be with them. So we decided that it might be better for us to meet his big sister first, so she could tell him what she thought about us becoming his family. She came over for dinner one evening after visiting with her youngest sister. However, to our surprise, the little sister's adoptive mom dropped her off, and we got to meet 2 of his sisters in the very same day. And her adoptive mom, it turns out she's from my little hometown, which was 6 hours away. We even went to the same high school. And now we were in Jacksonville, Florida, and we lived 5 minutes down the road from one another. That night with his big sister was a blast. She even called Freddie and tried to play family matchmaker herself at the first meeting. He was so quiet and nervous. He wouldn't speak much to us. A few weeks went by and we got to meet him in person with his big sis and the whole team for ice cream. I'm not going to lie. This whole supervised visitation thing makes things so weird and awkward. He was still quiet. He didn't have any questions like most kids, but his big sister is a talker. So she and I kept the conversation going. And of course, we brought our dog Mocha with us, as she is always a trip and lightens the mood. We met with him about a week or so later, again at a park, and then on Mother's Day weekend. We made plans to go to the movies. We planned to surprise him and have all three of his sisters together on my birthday weekend to celebrate his big sister graduating from high school, which would be the first time that they were all together in over a year. They had no clue it was my birthday, but I was basking in mama mode and loving every second. He came over early to help me get a cake ready for her and decorate it from scratch. On the last weekend in May, we got to have him spend the night for the first time. We took him to Joel's last therapy session for the year, and we got to show him how Joel walked using the support of a harness and a zero gravity machine made for people who are quadriplegic or paraplegic. And since it was Memorial Day weekend, we got to keep him an extra night. It was great. We installed his TV that weekend. We started making his room just feel like his, letting him add his own touches. He slept all the way back to his foster home, exhausted from the fun we had had of being a family. June 1st, he began his first long week stay. The plan was to have him transition over the summer in time for school to start. We would focus on letting him visit for a week at a time, and then a week with us, and then a week with his foster family over June. But after talking with him and the team, they decided to move things more quickly. He was ready. Hi, friend. Want a little more joy in your inbox? Join our email list for a warm welcome and a secret family recipe, the most delicious sugar cookies with icing, perfect for any occasion. On the Grits, Grace, and Granola blog, we inspire, equip, and empower you to live life joyful in every season. Plus, dive into our blog about motherhood insights, faith, home decor, tips, and more. Sign up today and make life a little sweeter together. This link is also in our show notes, so check it out. I know it seems nuts, especially for a kid who didn't seem to attach very easily to people. Oh, the diagnoses that these people give children and the labels they put on them for their behavior. It's all shocking. His foster family only chose not to adopt him because he wouldn't open up to them. And this is the very reason our adoption coordinator had thought we would be the perfect family for him, because she knew how we had shown T love that was unconditional. He was in control. I won't say it was normal, but it was necessary under these circumstances. And for kids who have lost control and say over their life, this was a big deal to allow him to lead the process of his coming into our home. It also proved to him that we cared about his thoughts and wanted him to feel this way, as this was his decision, not just ours. We did some things differently this time. We were a little slower at everything. We did. We didn't sit him down and tell him how many aunts and uncles he had or give him a book he could learn everyone's name. We just let it happen. We focused on him and us and becoming a family of three. We were mirroring his pace a little better. We were mirroring his pace this time. Something we were encouraged to do to make kids feel comfortable. Something I didn't change was letting him know how much we loved him. Every single day, even though he was not used to hearing it ever. Let's be real, after being in foster care for over a year and a half, not hearing that, and then all of a sudden hearing it and seeing it can be very scary, especially for a teenager who doesn't trust easily. So much has changed since then. He was adopted just after his 14th birthday in August of 2018. But 8 months after we met him, my husband tragically and unexpectedly passed away from a triple heart attack at 29 years old. He and I have grown closer together through the years, and he actually gave me my first hug after Joel passed away, and he hasn't stopped giving them since. He walks in a room to offer them to me regularly. He was the one there for me when my tears were flowing in grief or just in daily life. He became loud and fun and came out of his shell. He is so caring and so loving. When we were together 24/7, we drove each other crazy because he chose to do online school and stay focused on his education. During his teenage years, we loved cooking together, kayaking, tubing, and most of all, being on our farm with all of our animals, which was my lifelong dream that we got to do together. We moved back to my hometown in South Carolina to be closer to my support system, my friends, and my family. Freddie is now 20 and on his own, if you're doing the math. He graduated high school, he got a full-time job, and he's climbed his way up. He moved out into an apartment. He has a car and a girlfriend and a life of his own. I am proud of how independent he's become, but he's still part of our family. And everyone needs a family. As for me, adoption has changed me for the better. And while I know I'm not his only family, he knows I chose him. I've learned that love is a choice. It's a choice that you make every single day. Emotions and butterflies are something extra and a bonus. But you also have to let love in and let it overflow. And when you take this step, it's the most freeing and overwhelming, peaceful thing about life. There's one thing I told Joel early on in our adoption. When we got started in the process of taking classes, he asked, "Why rush?" Without hesitation and truly much thought, I replied, "Every day we wait is one less day. One less day we have with them, to spend with them, to love them, and to know them." We didn't know then just how limited that time would be. Just 8 months later, Joel passed away, just shy of 5 months of becoming Freddie's adopted father. That conversation has never ceased to make me realize just how precious time is and how much procrastination can keep us from living the life we dreamed and longed for. And I am so glad we didn't wait till the perfect time, because there's not one. Life is short, friends. What are you doing with yours?
Friend, let's celebrate. You've just finished another episode of There Will Be Joy. So I challenge you, find a friend to share this episode with, give them a big hug for me, and remember, keep spreading joy. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform and join our free Patreon community. And as always, leave a review if you're finding value in these episodes, because it means the world to me.